Good. Hello. So we got some people up in here already. What up, Atara? Billy? Jake? What's going on, everybody?
Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, hold on one second. I'm going to close these blinds a little bit. Like glare come off.
I will respond to you right after this, Larry. I have you on my list. I'm sorry, it's been a crazy day.
We're going to let a few more people go, a couple more minutes. Let's get some people up in here, and then we'll get started going with this process here. Hope everybody's had a good day so far. Great. Ebony, have you sent us your stuff? We're processing everything as quick as possible. So if you've sent us your copy B, just let me know and I'll print that out and get you an agreement.
Yeah, we'll go over some different processes tonight that's going to help us. So we'll go in detail about that a little bit later.
So
I know people are frustrated with this. I'm so sorry. We are trying our best, I promise. And hopefully the process that we put in place this afternoon will help.
So yeah, just hang in there, Terry. They'll come. It might take a day. Yeah, we know the email situation. That's why we're gonna JT there. Promise we're fixing the situation because we get so many emails, everything gets buried. Like somebody will send me something and I'm looking for it and there's 80 more emails on top of it and I can't find it. So I think that we've kind of fixed that remedy that solution or that problem so that we can get things done, even as far as like the contract, the agreements between us and all that. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight. So
yeah, we were up, and just to let you know, we were up until 4 a.m. doing nonstop emails, and I still had 350 to go. So I'm at 400 and something now, and I've been nonstop trying to make phone calls, get back to people, get things put in the mail, get files made so that if we're audited, we have all of that process in place. So, you know, we never expected it to be this amount at this quickly. So
yeah, we didn't expect to have 1.7 thousand views in a day and a half period. Like this was insane. So so we're trying to mainstream the process to make it you know, more functional, easier to go through so that we're not bombarded by a whole bunch of stuff. And for people that understand the process, you'll be able to get your agreement, get your copy B to us a lot faster, what we're going to set up and do. And in that way, it's the people that still need some one-on-one time that we can spend that time with to help in that situation. So, all right.
Let's start by bringing the Lord above into our hour and a half that we're going to spend together, because as all of you know, we need his blessings on all of this. So let's bow, and if you'll pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us this time together to learn from one another, to find freedom in all of the evil that has been placed upon us all of our lives, Lord Jesus. I pray that as we receive envelopes, emails, and as we send packages out to the Treasury, Lord Jesus, that you would just bless each one and bless us, and let God's people win. We already know that he won, but now it's time to have proof that we're winning. So we give that to you. We ask that you would guide us, direct us as Drew and I work with all of you. Help us to streamline the process in your way, and that you would bring the right people into our lives to help us through this process. And I thank you, and I lift you up in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys. So for all the new people on here and anybody that kind of joined us late last week, we're Drew and Tara Jarrett. So we are real estate agents. We have multiple companies set up that we use for our real estate investment stuff. And that's the reason we decided to go into assisting people, because we understand the process. We know that you have to have a trustee in the situation to be able to acquire your assets. So that's the reason we decided to set up our businesses and use our businesses that we have set up to do this for you guys.
A little bit about who we are and how we met, just so you know who we are. I was a single mom for 2008 until I married Drew in 2016. I was very much raising my children happily, as was Drew, and wasn't looking for anyone when we met. We were very focused on our children, and you know, I had always prayed, if God wants me to be a wife again, or if God wants to lead someone into my life, that he would place them at my dinner table and literally say, this is the one for you, because I was anti anything to do with that. And that's exactly what happened. I went to run a Spartan race that I had never run, met Drew at a table with my friends in Dallas over dinner. And we've been talking and never stopped talking since 2014. So he moved here from Tennessee. We got married in 2016. We have 5 kids between the two of us, ranging from 15 to 27.
27.
And I have my first grandbaby on the way, due in the beginning of June into May. So I'm also, you know, going to be grandma too. So we've got to streamline this. And just to let y'all know who we are, so that, you know, since we can't meet you face to face, that's kind of who we are and our background.
Yep. And we will all meet one day face to face. You know, we start getting some of this stuff ironed out and everybody starts getting their houses. We're going to come out and party, guys. We can get together, throw a celebration over all this. That's what it's about. All right, I've seen some questions. Let's go into the process on what we're doing and what we're here to offer. So as the trustee, we're going to be filing the 1099A, the OID, the 1096, the 1040V, and the 8888 to get the payment. So we're going to help you guys as far as like figure out how much you need to put on the 1099A. We're going to, you know, be that trustee in the relationship. We're going to deliver the funds to the title companies or to the finance manager if you're buying a truck or a vehicle or anything like that. So we're in the process of, you know, filing everybody's paperwork that we have received in, as long as you have an agreement in there. And I know some of the agreements have not been sent out yet, but we're getting there. But so that is our relationship with you guys. We are going to file all the paperwork, receive all the funds, make sure the payments are sent to where they need to be sent according to the agreements and the contracts in place. And then, making sure that, the money that is being spent and allocated for is where it needs to go so that none of us get in trouble for trust fraud. You got anything?
Yeah, so I did make a few notes. If you are going to email Drew and I, if you could just email one of us, that would be super helpful, because we are yelling to each other, do you have this person? Do you have this person? And we might have both contacted some of you. I don't know. But I want to be able to speed up that process and not have both of us doing or working on the same person. So if you could just pick one of us, whoever that is, doesn't matter, and just email one of us, that would be helpful. Let's see. If we've talked on the phone, Drew and I save your phone number in our phones with your name, so we know who you are. We've made contact with you. We've developed a little bit of a relationship with you. So we have your phone number in our phone. So if you can just text us and not email us after we've talked for any questions or to follow up on anything, that would be super helpful too. That way it doesn't bog down our email. Remember, when you're doing your 1099As, to add in your closing costs, to add in our fees, to add in anything additional, because I would rather you have a little bit more that we might need to amend and use it towards something else than to not have enough. So I think most of you are good. Everything that I've seen come in looks good. I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that we need to account for that in your 1099A. Drew and I are taking the weekend off. My daughter is having a baby shower this weekend, and it is going to be on Saturday night. So bear with me, but that has to be my priority this weekend. So I hope that you all will understand that. And then I have a vendor agreement form that I have discovered through one of you that gave me a lot of insight and information into some things that I needed to add to the packet. So we have now a vendor relationship with the Treasury with the agreement that we put in place. So hopefully that's going to speed up the process. We'll see. Time will tell. But I got that going with every packet that we send out. If you want your OID filed online to try to speed up the process, we're asking for you to send us a $3 Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, whatever's easy for you, just to cover the $2.90 cost of, or whatever it is, to file the OID. I do believe that it's speeding up the process. I've had a lot of people come to us and tell us that they have an approval already, and that the funds will be released in 10 days. So we are seeing results. We haven't seen cash yet, but we are seeing results in terms of getting approvals and acceptances back, filing online. So if you want us to do an OID online, please just send us that $3 and we'll do that, because we can't take care of all of these packets. We have a Telegram page up. We are going to be having all of our files, examples of how to fill out the 1099As are going to be in the Telegram files. I have someone that graciously volunteered their time to take over Telegram for us. We're still going to be on there, but I just can't handle that. And that'll help streamline some of the process too. If any of you want to get on there and answer each other's questions for things, that might help us.
I'm going to put the link up. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not very good at this. So
we're also going to have our agreement between you guys and us, where you can take it from Telegram and put in your beneficiary names on it and sign it and submit it back to us via email. That way, all of you have the agreement on Telegram that you can just pull and print and send it to us. So you're not waiting on us. We're having to type each one of them right now, and that's taking a lot of time. So hopefully that'll help also streamline that process. We will be putting up when we're going live on Telegram so that you'll know when we're going to go live, or if we post any videos that announcements in between now and our lives, then I'll go on there, or Drew will go on there, and we'll put in an announcement if we have anything that we need you to know right then. Let's see, I'm trying to set up a blast email too, so that if I need to get a message out to everyone that we're trustees for, that you'll, I'll be able to do it that way and have you on the same page with us if needed before we meet again, or in between our meetings. And I think that's all of the announcements that I have for now, unless my brain figures out something else I needed to say.
So even with Telegram, this will give us an opportunity that if there's still a lot of confusion, questions, or whatever, I could just say, hey, I'm going to go live, or I'm going to go on Telegram, and we're going to open up the chat and talk to each other and see what kind of issues we're having or whatnot. I just feel like it's going to be better to be able to run it that way, and easier, because the people that understand the process can now fill out their agreement, send it to us, and they've got their 1099As, their copy B coming in, and we'll be able to get their stuff sent off faster. So then you're not waiting on us to get the agreement, because like she said, I mean, by the time we type everybody's information into it, upload it into our system we use for contracts with real estate, it takes a lot of time. And so I think this will be faster, easier to take care of it. So let's see, I'm trying to put the Telegram posts or the Telegram link up here.
I do have a story to tell you while we're sitting here waiting for a few more people are coming in, and he's putting out the Telegram link. But we use the free mail system. We send everything out free mail. We've had no issues with that at all whatsoever. However, we've had issues with our mailman in our neighborhood delivering our mail to us. So we had a nice, or Drew had a not so nice chat with the carrier today that did not hand us the mail. They wanted to charge us and have us, charge on delivery to give us the mail that he had today. We refused that and pointed out codes to him. He refused to hand it to us. We called the postmaster, inspector, whoever we talked to, and I rattled off all of the codes that I had printed out in detail, and explained that we're not trying to be difficult, that we understand that they don't know the process, but they need to deliver our mail. We are helping people in different situations in life, and we have to receive our mail. So they are supposed to be investigating and getting back to me. So they're in a little bit of a lien situation if they don't comply. And I think a lot of us are going to have to start standing up to some of that tyranny. And I understand they don't understand the process. We all had to learn it too, but at some point you've got to learn the process and wake up a bit. So just a little story of what we dealt with a little bit today.
Another thing that we've dealt with is that I submitted a 1099A for my Verizon bill. I actually moved the payment because it was due, set another date, sent a 1099A to the CEO for the amount that was due. And when it came time for it to be paid, I was like, well, crap, I guess they're not going to pay it. So I went in and paid the bill. My next payment was coming up, actually came up on the 5th. Well, Sunday, I got a text message that said next payment amount due is $25. So they accepted my 1099-A for the amount that I had paid that was the past due amount to them because of a scheduled payment that I set up after I had paid it, but they went on ahead and credited me that money toward this month's bill. So it is working. We're starting to see some things. We're starting to see people get their approvals online from the 1099online.com. And when they're getting it, it says the funds are available and will be dispersed 10 business days after the approval date. Well, that just means that our paperwork has to be there so that the funds will get dispersed. So hopefully we'll start seeing some faster turnaround times, and we're going to get into the 20 day mark, 25 day mark, instead of this possibly 45 days, possibly 60 days. And then you'll be able to negotiate stuff. You'll be able to do things, and it'll be a 30-day close if we're starting to get things turned around. But you still have to watch for that earnest money, because I actually called to try to negotiate a deal yesterday. The guy told me that he would present it to the seller, but my buyer had to pay like 60,000+. He didn't know exactly what was going to be the earnest, but he said at least $60,000 earnest money, non-refundable earnest money, meaning that if the funds didn't come at closing date, then the seller walks away with your $60,000 cash that you put up. And we're not willing to let that happen for anybody. We wouldn't let it happen for our buyers right now that don't even know this process. So that's where, as trustees for you guys, we draw the line and say, okay, look, everybody needs to kind of be approved for what they're looking for, and have the money ready to go, so that we're not in that situation where they're wanting 60,000. Had one in Arizona, they wanted $40,000 down as earnest money. Talked to somebody yesterday, and they're asking for 4%, 3 and 4% as well. So we're in situations now because the sellers are actually controlling the market as far as being able to get the, what they want for the house. They're also controlling how much earnest money is put down. So, all right, so let's get to some of these questions here that I see going on. Jake, we're in New Braunfels. So yeah, Texas is huge, man. You can drive all day and never get out of it. It's freaking crazy. I didn't realize that till I moved here.
I'll get back in touch with you, Crystal, this week. I just made note to put a couple more stars by your name, so I'll know.
So yeah, guys, we're getting to everybody, and like Tara said, if I have talked to you or she has talked to you, you have my number. Text me. It's easier for me to shoot you a text message back to answer a question than it is for me to find an email that you might have sent me that's been buried underneath 100 more emails. Okay. So percentage crypto, yes, the percentage comes out of the 1099-A. So you want to add that in. We do 5% to act as your trustee of the purchase price. So if you think the house is going to be $1 million, you're going to say 5% of $1 million. Then if you buy it for 800,000, we're only taking 5% of that 800,000. So,
if you have leftover money, I had this question today. If you have leftover money, we can't just funnel it to you in cash. We're going to have to, we can amend the OID. We can amend all of the paperwork and let them know where the money was dispersed, but we cannot give it to you in cash if it's more than 20%. So if you have leftover funds, they're not going to just sit there in my account. I need them to go away because I don't want a lot of money lingering in our account for tax reasons. So we'll find a bill or we'll have you purchase something else. But we'll figure that out. I would still rather you be a little bit over than under what you need to close on a property or to get a car or any of that type of thing. So we can always figure out where to send the money. We all have things that we need paid off. So as long as a trustee is sending it, you don't have any trust fraud issue. Let's see.
Gustavo, to do business with us, you know, we'll get in touch with you. We're actually going to pin on the Telegram channel. We're going to pin the agreement in there. If you understand the process and you want to get, you know, started with it and you already have your 1099A ready to go, you know what you got to put, you know that you're, you know, we're 5%, you got your closing costs, or if you're going to buy a car, it's the car with insurance, you know, plus the 5%, a little bit left over. You know, if you're doing $100,000 car and you have insurance and whatnot, and you write it for 140, 150, you're at your 80%. I mean, you're there. You're not there's nothing to worry about. But if you write it for 200,000 and you spend 100,000 on the car, we're going to have to figure out ways to help you to disperse that money so that none of us are getting in trouble for trust fraud.
Hang on. Celeste. Yes, you signed if you have the hard copy of the 1099A, you're going to fill it out, endorse the back like a check with your beneficiary signature. So that's all you have to do on the hard copy. And then if you have any OIDs, 1096s, and you're sending us by mail, please send what you have, because we're doing a lot of online stuff, but we're following up with a paper trail just to make sure that Treasury has everything they need to not delay. So if you can help us with the 1096s and the OIDs, that would be helpful. If you're sending me packages anyway, if not, just be my backup to go to if I need them.
If you already have the hard copy and you're ready to go, or you filed it online and we have not gotten you an agreement, here's the thing. About 30 minutes after the live tonight, we are going to have everything pinned in our Telegram channel. We will have an agreement. We will have examples on how to fill out the 1099A. We will have an example on how to sign it. You know, we will have I'll put my Cash App in there, or Venmo and Zelle, just in case you're looking to for us to file the electronic OID. It's $3, and then that way you can send it, and when it comes in, I know whose it is. And we've got a bin over here of people's stuff that's ready to be filed tonight. We're going to do that tonight too, and we're going to go in and you know, and we'll file everybody's stuff. And then that way, and then we'll send you the confirmation number that it's been filed. Okay, we'll write down the confirmation number, and we'll send the confirmation number, or take a screenshot of the confirmation number so that we can submit that out to you guys. Same thing if I'm mailing something off. I will be sending you the tracking number, because I am tracking everything. I don't trust the mail system to deliver my stuff. That way,
important documents.
That way, if they decide that they're not going to mail it, I'm ready to go up there and have a nice little chat, because I've already been twice.
But we haven't had any problem with mailing. The only thing we've had a problem with is receiving. And that's only been 1-2 times. So hopefully they'll read the codes and we'll get that, you know, taken care of. But we haven't had problems sending.
So yesterday when I went to the post office and talked to the supervisor, she told me that I told her that she was a federal employee and actually worked for us, we the people. And she told me, no, I don't. I work for my supervisors above me. So they're basically saying they do not work for the people. They actually work for the government. So it came out of her mouth that they're not there to help us. They're there to, you know, if they don't want to deliver something, they're going to just not deliver it, which is fraud. It's obstruction of the mail. So, you know, we have to stand up and put a stop to it. They need to know that people are waking up to this. So, fragrance, we'll get to you, I promise. You know, we've got calls between calls and trying to mail people stuff out and get agreements out. That's why we had to put a different system into place. And so, you know, we get this system into place tonight. I think it'll mainstream everything a little bit better, and we will be able to have a phone call here and there easier, because the people that know how to do the process and are able to do it without problems can go ahead and do their stuff and send it to us. I'll also have my address in there for anybody that wants to mail their stuff to us.
Yeah, we're not going to announce our address on the channel, but we will get it to you.
Oh, okay. I don't care. They can come see me. Can you act as trustees for Americans buying homes in Europe? I mean,
yes.
If you got a social, you're here. We can negotiate a deal wherever. So,
yeah, we can reach out to real estates all over the world. So we can reach out to someone that handles real estate in that area. Or we can connect with you and give you pointers on how to connect with the real estate agent and have them reach out to us. So, yes, we can help. I had someone from Australia that was looking for our help. It doesn't matter where it is. If you have a social security number, you have a trust, and we can help you, and we can figure out a scenario with the real estate side and who to talk to.
Dang, I lost some questions there. Let's see. This thing goes pretty quick.
Hey, Midwest.
Hey, Midwest. What's up, man? Oh, there was we will have it pinned in there also on how to fill it out. I saw a question about that, filling out the 1099 online. Here's the thing. If you are actually going to use us as the trustee, I know that Chris Hauser has been saying that you always want to fill it out as the Department of Treasury as the lender, and you are the borrower. And what he's doing is great. It's great for all of this. It's been a grassroots movement. He's been at the forefront of it. But we are having experience by paying, if you're the lender and you're paying if you're paying a bill, you're going to put yourself as the lender, and the person the bill is being paid to is the borrower. And then you're going to check the box that says borrower is responsible for the debt. And then the IRS will send them a letter that they need to file this, and that'll get it paid.
Yeah, because they're borrowing from your trust. They're borrowing from your corporate entity that they created for you to even fund the credit card loan or whatever they gave you. So not only have they already been paid, but they borrowed against your trust. So technically they are the borrower. And for debts, we have a lot. We've talked to a lot of people, and we have a lot of testimonies that works. And we're now a testimony to that as well. So if you have questions on how to fill that out to pay a debt off on Telegram, I did a hard copy 1099-A to put up there. One of them is for paying debt, and one of them is for purchasing assets. So there's two different ways to fill them out. The Treasury is always the lender if you're purchasing assets. And then you're always the lender if you are paying off a debt. So that'll all be up on Telegram for your examples to follow if you need help with that. And then,
I think the Telegram channel is going to help, because there's a lot of you guys that are saying right here, if you need help with examples on filling it out, I can show you how to do it. So, that's going to help. We're going to have it. We're going to have it up there. And yes, SkyBiz, the Telegram can hold all the documents. We can put everything on there. And then that way you're having to, you can just grab them, print it off, sign it. scan it, send it back to us, and that way we're good. And have your agreement in place, and I'm not having to upload everybody's agreement individually to try to send out stuff. So when I did the Verizon bill, I actually did it the way that Chris Hauser says to do it, because I actually sent it in with my voucher, my coupon. So, you know, I actually put on that except for value, and I filled out the 1099-A with the treasury and my name, and signed it with a beneficiary signature along with signed the voucher. Heck, they probably took it twice, maybe 3 times, you know, because I gave them enough payment instruments to make sure to see how it got paid.
I know a lot of people that I talked to, and, you know, me included for a little while, were, now that we know we can use our trust and how to use it, we're trying to manage it like a bank account. And our bank account, we always want to make sure we have enough money in there. But they've been doing this forever, and if there's not enough money in there, they're going to reject it. If they double dip, they're going to do it anyway. They've been doing it. It hasn't hurt our trust yet, and it's not going to hurt it now. So I think people are too focused on, what if they hit my trust twice? They're going to anyway. So so we just use our trust to our benefit now, because we've learned the process, and not worry about who's going to double dip, because they're going to continue to do what they've been doing.
So yes, anytime you're mailing something to any company, you want to put the CEO. We've tried some stuff with the CFO. Haven't got anywhere. We've tried some things with the CEO. Verizon's the first one that's actually helped. I also got an email from the toll tag place here in Texas that I sent them an accept for value, and they are investigating it to see if that's actually a form of payment that they can use. They had to send it to their attorneys. So we're fighting that too, because I'm tired of toll fees coming out of my bank account every time I use them. So, you know,
yeah, we have the privilege under common law to drive on the highways that they create for us to drive on. So we shouldn't have to pay.
If you're sending anything to a company to pay off with a 1099-A, you do not have to send the 1040-V, the OID, the 8888. Just send it with the voucher. Send that in with it. We actually submitted ours with a conditional acceptance. You can put the conditional acceptance in there, explaining what this is, and, you know, and that they need to prove it. And, you know, that way, if they take it, you've already conditionally accepted them. If they don't give it back, then you've got that on file with them. So, you know, send all that in.
If you have a recurring bill, like a utility bill, your phone bill, any recurring type bills that, I mean, you can go ahead and pay like more than what the bill is asking for, so that you can get a credit to your account. If you don't want to go in, because the process takes almost the time frame that it takes for your bill to be due, then go ahead and up the payment to take care of it, so that you're not having to do it every single month. Is my suggestion on that, for recurring bills anyway, if you're not paying them off, and, you know, for your living things.
Hey, Jenny Hubble, let us know how the utility bill works. We've been fighting our utility company. They cut it off. We just pay it and then try it again. So, you know, see what happens. We actually have the conditional acceptance in place that was a lot stronger this last time.
He's ignored me. It's been 3 weeks. He's ignored me.
So it's time. So now we have to get the lien in place to be able to take care of that. So let's see.
I mean, remember, guys, we're supposed to have free energy. We should have free energy. So the utility bill is a big deal to me.
So, yeah, let's see. So you're with closing. How do you buy a new house without any money? You're going to actually have money. You're going to figure out how much money you actually need to have to buy the house. That's going to be closing costs. Closing costs are about 1% to 2%. Three,
yeah, more
maybe
than that.
More than that. We actually heard Minnesota's is higher than that. I've heard some other people say that their state's a little bit higher. I think Tennessee's a little less. Alabama might be a little less, but you're going to factor that in. You're going to factor in the fees for our services. You're going to put all of that in. And then when you submit it to us and you get an approval and we get your funds in it now, or get your funds in, now you can go buy a house because you have money. You have cash. It's a cash deal, basically. We're the trustee in the situation. We're going to actually go and be able to say, they're going to call us for proof of funds, which we all know is not legal, but they're still asking for it. They're going to ask for proof of funds, and you're going to say, hey, I need you to contact my trustee. Or you're going to call me and say, hey, Drew, this lady's asking for proof of funds, or this guy's asking for proof of funds. And I'm going to get the number, and we're going to call them up, and we're going to show them proof of funds. Whether that's because we're going to be in a situation, we'll generate a letter showing proof of funds and what everything's in there. And so then you're going to be able to negotiate the deal at a faster close if you want to, because it's cash. When the contract is executed, we will send the money for the earnest money. You will have to get us the contract so that we can know who to send the money to for title, for the title company. And then when the closing happens, 2 days before closings, we will be sending out the funds to the closing agent for the house to close. So that's how you're going to buy it without actually having any money.
It's a lot easier process to have the money and to negotiate the deal. I can beat the price. I can now beat the terms. So the two things that we face are earnest money being a problem and our terms being a problem. People don't, a lot of times people will wait to sell their house 30 to 45 days before they need to move so that they're not there while they're trying to show it and do all of these things. But they also don't want two mortgages. So a lot of people are in a hurry to sell their house when they put it on the market. So we have issues with the time frame that we're willing to close because of waiting. I can beat them on the offer all day long using the trust, but I can't beat them on the terms if we're having to wait. So it's easier to just have the money up front, in my opinion.
SkyBiz, I don't know if you're talking about we don't answer the email. We're trying to get back to it as fast as we can. Like I said, we've got she had 300 this morning. I don't even know how many I have. I don't even count them. I just try to go through and answer as much as I can during the day. Or if you're saying Verizon, because I know you've asked questions about Verizon, Verizon is not going to answer your email. They're not going to.
No, however, Verizon is one of the companies that train somebody in this group on how to file the 1099-A online and how to get that paid, and how Verizon will go and file the OID. So someone in our group here actually Verizon walked them through the process of how to pay a bill off. So thank you. And now we have all been taught that same thing. So that's why a community is great, to be a part of a community together. We all learn from each other. So
how do you file the 1099-A? You're going to go to 1099online.com, or the other one?
Tax1099.com.
Yep. And you're going to set up an account, and you're going to go in and click, then you'll go in and start a new e-file, and it'll ask you for the year. So you're going to do 2021. You're going to pick the 1099-A. And then when it pulls it up, it'll say add the lender or add the payer. So that's where you'll put the treasury in. And then after you fill out all that information, you'll do their EIN number, address, everything like that. Then you're going to go down where it says borrower, and you're going to add your information in. And then you're going to fill out your boxes. You're going to put your date on there as the date that you're filling it out. Then box number 2, you're going to actually put the total amount of what you're needing or what you're trying to do as far as the property, with all of your fees included. If you're doing a $500,000 house, all your fees and everything, and you're looking around $750,000, that's what you're going to put in box number 2. Box number 4 is going to be the fair market value of the house. So it might, fair market value to you might be 550. Fair market value to somebody else might be 300. It just depends on how you look at the fair market value of something. And then in the description, you're going to put real property, real estate, 2022 RAV4, Toyota Tundra, Chevy Silverado. You're going to put that in there. You don't need a VIN number. You don't have to have all that. And then that's all the boxes, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And then you're going to file that. You're going to go down and you're going to click, file, and it's going to have, you're going to have these boxes you have to check to email you. And then you'll pay for that. And then they will email you your copy B. And then you're able to actually send us the copy B. We're able to submit everything when you have your agreement in place, and promise the agreement will be up on Telegram to make this a whole lot easier than us trying to enter 250 names one by one into the computer to get everything done and generated and sent out. So, but we will submit everything to the Treasury, because we have to fill out the OID, the 1096, and the 8888 and the other forms. And then you got a dashboard that is part of 1099 online, and you can actually see when it is approved. It'll say accepted. And yes, you'll get an email stating that it has been approved. Okay. I think the accepted part is actually the approval on a lot of them. If you do the tax1099.com, it'll actually go from charcoal or gray to green, and it says the IRS is accepted. So or it has approved, and that means it's good to go. And then we'll file the OID, so we'll already have all of that in pretty much by the time that approval is, because we're going to submit everything mailed out. So they have our account number and everything ready to go. And then once you get the approval, if you really want the OID filed electronically, because we're gonna have your account number that's generated from that copy B onto the paperwork stuff. If you want the electronic one filed, then we will file that, but it'll be $3 because we can't file everybody's right now. So,
wouldn't it be easier to find a private seller? Someone asked. Not necessarily. We have a lot of people that think this is a scam. We have a lot of people that think we are conspiracy theorists. Convincing a private seller is really not any easier than convincing a real estate agent that doesn't know the process. The wait time might be better. And if it's been on the market, or if they're, okay with waiting on the funds to come in, if they're open to being educated on the process, maybe. But for the most part, no. For the most part, the majority, 99% of our country believes this is a scam. So, we're up against a real battle, and we face a lot of tyranny. So until more people get educated and we start standing up as a group to people who have not listened to us, and us included, because we've been doing all of this, and we have things that we need to work on too personally to try to fight the system. But until we all start standing up to that, I don't see it changing. So we're all in this together, and we're all going to have to rise up and do what we need to do to make people educate and force them to educate. So, do we need to, you don't have to have I agree with a wedding signature because it's the common law way. So I'm definitely on the same page with doing a wedding signature. However, that process is taking longer, and we're seeing it just in the last few days, we're seeing results that we don't see with paper because it takes a good week to even get there. And then we don't know how long it takes to scan. So it's kind of like, I like to use the scenario of when you go to file your taxes on TurboTax, it's faster. Your refund comes faster because you did it online. So we're dealing with the same companies that do taxes. So I see the process being faster online for sure. If the wedding signature, we don't have to have it to answer your question. Not to file online.
I see somebody's saying they still don't see the Telegram link. It's Jarrett Realty Investors. It's all one word. If you can look it up that way you can find it. You should be able to get in there. Rob, just email me. Rob H. I know you said, how do I get your phone number? Email me. I'll schedule a time to talk with you, and then you'll have my phone number. And then that way you can go that way, and I will. I'll have the email addresses pinned in there too, so you can go ahead and start emailing. For those kind of questions, like I said, if and that way we can schedule a call, and we're not answering a bunch of questions on the whole process and all the stuff.
Ryan, we can be a trustee to pay off any debt that you have. However, I feel like you're going to get faster results. You're going to get faster results by doing the process that we're going to put up on Telegram on filing as a lender and them as the borrower. You're going to get a much faster payoff. Which brings me to the next point. If you know someone going through pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, eviction, especially eviction, see if they've offered the 1099-A to pay for the year. If they're going through an eviction because of the moratorium being lifted, you really, as fellow neighbors and in your communities, need to let them know that they can do or attempt to do a 1099-A to remedy that situation so that they don't get evicted. If you're going through foreclosure, know people going through foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, they need to go online immediately and file a 1099-A the way that we were saying, as them as a lender with their beneficiary name and the company as a borrower, and try to get that at least halted for a while to get that paid off.
So I had a question just now that came up. The only time you have to check the borrower is responsible for the debt is when you put the company as the borrower and you as the lender. Because yes, they are responsible. They're the ones that have to pay it off. So, but Cash App tags should be up on Telegram here shortly. So I'll put it up there.
The easiest way to explain to a realtor, there is no easy way. Again, there is no easy way. I've tried to explain it to several realtors, and I have to skirt around the SESTA-K and just let them know that my client is paying from a trust fund. I don't tell them what kind of trust fund. I find that the easier way to talk to a realtor that doesn't know the process is your funds are coming from a trust. You don't mention the SESTA-K trust. It's none of their business what trust is coming from. And that seems to be the easiest way to just get them to at least somewhat listen to you.
Yes, Darrell is, you can actually, if you've already got a house under contract, and you're waiting, you're waiting, yeah, as long as it's under contract and you're not needing anything, I mean, new build takes a while. If you already got the funds, tied up with it so that, you've put your earnest money down or whatnot, then yeah, fill out your 1099-A. We get the money when the house is finished. We pay at closing for it to be yours. So
we can put the address on the we will put the address on where to send the documents on our agreement. So we'll have it on the agreement. When you go on Telegram to pull the agreement off of there, it'll have the address, and maybe that'll help free up some emails and some lack of response that I have, not been able to give you. So
yes, if it's 20%, you'll actually get the money. If it's less than 20%, we'll be able to pay it out. That's, or have the title company pay it out. If it's a car, then we'll pay it out. So,
you can do a correction on a 1099-A. You just go in and say that it's a correction, and it'll override your first one.
Open a private family banking insurance policy and fund it with a 1099-A. Good question.
What is it?
Can you open a private family banking insurance policy, fund it with a 1099-A?
No, that's going into trust fraud when you do that. You can't have any relation to you've got to have an outside trustee. You can't have a family member. So for Drew and I, we have to be we can't use our businesses and things like that, that if he's going to file a 1099-A, we have to send it to title. If we're going to buy something, we have to send it to the dealership because we don't have an escrow situation. So you can't be a trustee in your own trust or my sister's trust or my mom's trust. It can come back as trust fraud. You might get by with it for a little bit, but it's trust fraud at the end of the day.
So Josh, we do the 5% when it's at closing. When it's closed, we'll have whoever pay us the 5% back. If it's the title company, they'll send it back to us. If it's a car dealership, they're not going to send it back. We'll have to just pull our part out and send you a statement showing exactly where all the money went and what you had left based on all of the contracts in place. So, yes, you can buy furniture. So you can email us the copy B if it's coming from the online part. If you're not doing it online, we will need all 3 copies, A, B, and C, because A is what you actually sign, for us to send to the Treasury. But we will put our address on the agreement in Telegram so that you can actually see where to send everything if you are mailing us any stuff. And if I talk to you in email or we've talked on the phone and you have my phone number, I can text you my address.
I got Chris, I got that note written down for Drew to get that to you later after our live here. Yes, you can prepay property taxes at title. You can pay for the year, absolutely. And then I recommend that you file an alloidal title and put your property into a pure trust account so that all of your assets are protected. You can put all of them into a pure trust. No one can touch them. No one can sue you for your assets. It's the safest way. It's what all the elites do. They put everything into a pure trust organization, and you can develop multiple pure trusts that way, and put multiple assets in different trusts and have different managers on each trust. But I definitely suggest an alloidal title, the highest level of title, and a land patent once you get your property and title in hand.
So beneficiary signature, first name, hyphen, middle name, colon, last name, comma, beneficiary.
The agreement won't be on Telegram until we're done here. I've got to make some modifications to it and then send it to the person that's handling our Telegram so that he can upload that, because I've got to change some things and I've got to add our address into it. So just be patient with me and I'll do that after we're done here.
Jarrett Realty Investors is our Telegram channel. All right, Midwest, I'll get with you later, man, so you can tell me what you got going on with that. So
yes, you can utilize leftover funds to furnish a home. A lot of us are going to be looking at a little bit bigger property than we have now, so furnishings would be good to be able to add into that. Sorry, we're having to read. Some of these are longer.
So if the physical 1099-A has already been sent off, but I didn't put a beneficiary at the end of my signature, as long as you did the first name hyphen, middle name, colon, last name, I mean, that's the beneficiary signature. So if you want, I mean, you can email me, Reginald, and if I need to send it back or whatever we need to do, we can discuss that. So
if you're going to add things into the house, how is that going to be distributed? If you're doing improvements, it's going to be distributed to the contractor. If you are adding in closing costs and all of that type of thing, we're going to, and HOA for the year and insurance for the year and taxes for the year and that kind of thing. Title's going to distribute that. If you have anything left over, if you're doing a new build, we're going to have to send that to the builder, contractor, whoever's repairing the home. And again, remember, it cannot be a family member. It has to be an outside party or it's trust fraud.
So as we learn more and more about the trust fraud stuff, guys, I mean, that's why we're like really getting into the saying 20%. Like you can't, you know, like Chris was saying, even on his stuff, like when all the repairs and all the stuff is done, you should have, if you have 20% of the funds left over, you can pocket that. But you just have to be careful of, like, I can't give you $1.5 million and you pocket that and there's nothing being done. So, I mean, we're digging more into this stuff every day to find out, just to make sure we give you the information that needs to be done to keep everybody out of trouble.
David, we can hang on to the money. There's really no time limit on it, but for our sake and tax purposes for our business, we prefer to get rid of it pretty quickly. But if you have to wait on a vehicle to come in or something like that, that's fine. And if we have to wait 30 to 45 days to close on a house because someone has to move out, that's fine. We just don't want to hang on to it for half a year. So,
all right.
You don't have to talk to a dealership first. They're not going to, most of them are not going to work with you or understand the process. We've talked to people across this country and we've had experiences ourselves. We actually have a 1099-A still sitting at the dealership. They accepted the payment. I signed all of the paperwork as if I purchased the vehicle. They sent an email to Drew and said the truck's been shipped. And then 3 weeks later, we get a phone call thinking that they've already sent our paperwork off. Now we're 3 weeks in where funding should be coming. And we find out that corporate said no, and they've been sitting on our paperwork. So dealerships are not, there's some that understand the process, but most of them have no idea.
So yeah, I mean, if you're buying 41 acres and you're used to living on quarter acre or less, or even half acre, and you only have a push mower, yeah, you're going to need a tractor, farm truck, you know, whatever. So that's all included. That's for the property. If you need to, if you're going to need to build a storage shed or a barn or a place to, whatever, workshop, all that's improvements to your property. So
Keena, when you're doing renovations to a home, we would have to do it the same way that they do it at a bank level. It goes in phases. Once the work is completed on a certain phase, you're paid out of the trust, and it goes in phases. And that's the way that contractors are used to working anyway. So that shouldn't hold anything up. As far as the furniture, depending upon how much the furniture costs, if it is within that 20% limit, then title can cut you the remainder of that 20%. But if you're going to need furnishings that cost more than that 20% or something like that, we're going to have to directly send it to that company, because we can't distribute cash more than 20%.
5 siblings, yeah. We've been told that it's, one vehicle at a time. So, I mean,
one per year per trust.
So
one per year per social.
I know that somebody else had been doing it, buying them like every couple of weeks for people and selling them to them using, at 60% or whatever. And he actually I think he got in trouble for some of it. So D&B, the Dunham and Bradstreet, is where we're getting EIN numbers. Better Business Bureau, you can actually go in, and I think if you sign up for the bigger package on the tax 1099 site, it'll actually provide you with EIN numbers for lots of companies, because it's set up for businesses to be able to get corporate EIN numbers.
Gary, I'm going to send you all the things we talked about today. I haven't gotten around to it. I promise I will do that tonight. And then also 1099 online versus paper. The only difference is that we see it being a little bit of a faster process, just like it is when you file your taxes online. We see that that's probably we don't have testimony to purchasing a house and the process that we're doing that it's faster, but the approvals, at least there's some chain of tracking. And when you do paper, there's no way to track it. We would be on the phone with the Treasury all day long for one person to track where the money is and what state level we're in. So I think that if you want to keep your eye on where you are in the process and be able to track it, online is better than paper. And I believe that it's going to pay out faster than paper. But if you want to do your wedding signature and I agree with that as well. It just really depends on what method you want to go. How big of a hurry are you in, and what type of tracking do you want to have? I think that's the biggest difference with filing online versus paper, is just the time frame, because it's going to take them at least a week. Like we've already gotten our copy Bs in the same day. They're getting accepted within 2 to 3 days, and they're getting approved in less than a week. It's taking us a week to even get them delivered to the Treasury, much less to scan them. So I guess it just depends on what length of time, how fast are you wanting to get the money? Let's see.
When you e-file, anytime you e-file something, or anytime you do something online, when it says, do you accept the agreements, the privacy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you're agreeing to their terms. That's basically, when you're putting your stuff in there, you don't have to have the signature with it. I mean, you're putting your information in. But yeah, I mean, we do agree that the wedding signature needs to be done on stuff. But with this process, I mean, stuff's getting done without the wedding signature.
Celeste, no signature requirements on online. Here's the deal. We will never fill out a 1099-A online for you. That is your responsibility. That is your trust that as a beneficiary that we want you to go in and fill out that information online. We will follow it up with an OID. So, but you don't have to have a wedding signature on to be able to file online. Let's see. I don't know. Can I help take a home out of escrow? If you're in escrow and you put earnest money down, there's no way to get out of that. Can you help take a home out of escrow? I don't know. You'll have to clarify that a little bit more. I don't know exactly what you're asking.
I mean, if you've already got it under contract and you're needing, you're just trying to get you've put the earnest money down, go ahead and file the 1099-A and let's see if we can get the money in before closing date, or maybe you'll have to just extend closing and see if they're willing to extend it. But if you've got earnest money in it, you don't want to run the risk of losing that earnest money.
Yes, you can use the 1099-As for the per sheet. I prefer if you're going to get a car and a home that you break it down into 2 different 1099-As. It's easier for us to have the 2 different account numbers generated to differentiate how we're going to use the funds. Let's see.
Our email address is going to be pinned in the Telegram chat. Jarrett Realty Investors is the Telegram. And actually, I think it's been put in here in the chat as well. So if y'all see it, and yes, I will actually go back in. I don't know how to put the description in as far as like showing you the agreement in this YouTube chat. I was trying to put pictures in the other day of how you fill out stuff for people who are asking, and I couldn't get a picture to go into the chat. But I will go back in later too after the live, and I will put I will make sure the Telegram channel is in the chat. All of the descriptions and all of the agreements will be in Telegram.
Yes, that's okay. What you're doing, Jonas, that's fine.
If there's a mistake on OID, who's responsible? We are. We're filling it out. You're not filling out the OID. You're not filling out the 1096. Sorry, we're filling it out. It's our responsibility as the trustee. The only thing that the beneficiary is to fill out is the 1099-A.
I haven't seen that.
What?
I haven't seen a deadline on March 31st. Not saying that it's not there, but I haven't seen that. I'll have to look into that. I might have to make a phone call on that.
We live between San Antonio and Austin.
Yeah, we're going to have the live chat will be up to be replayed. Or our live here will be up to be replayed for sure.
Hey, Nikki, when you're filing it online, it's just the same way as you're filling it out. As far as filling out a 1099-A, you're just filing it, but we're submitting the OID and everything. If you were to submit the OID, then yes, you are committing trust fraud because you're paying yourself out of your trust. Okay, thank you, Linda. On the community tab, I'll get all that.
Yes, David, that's how you pay off a mortgage. You go ahead and fill it in the way that that I explained it earlier, but there's going to be a copy of an example up on the Telegram page that reminds you how to do that if you weren't able to write that down.
Yes, Spring. you won't even, I don't even think you'll have to reach out to them, because they're going to get that. The IRS will send that all the information to them to pay it off. You should be, once everything's accepted, you'll know it's accepted. I mean, because you also get you'll also get an email stating everything's been accepted. You should get an email stating that the company has paid it off too, or a letter from the company. It takes a couple of weeks though. Like once they accept it and do everything, it's going to take a few weeks for you to receive something from the company saying it's been paid off.
I'm thinking that the March 31st deadline date that y'all are talking about is for quarterly, for companies that are filing quarterly. Because we've had people filing the 1099As this week, and we have had no issues, and they've been approved. So, so the March 31st date, I believe, is quarterly for corporate businesses. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna file two 1099As if you're gonna pay off your current car, and then if you're looking to buy a car, because you're paying off a loan.
You can, I don't know the answer to that, High, but I think that getting the process and getting the 1099A filed, if you do it online, they're getting accepted within a couple of days. So you can at least hopefully stop that abandonment within 10 days by having at least an approval. But that's just my thought. I don't know that for 100%. I would think that would help the process for sure.
A dealer just called, asked for purchase and trust. Spot free solar. Can you clarify that for me? I don't know what
a dealer just called.
So
they're probably wanting to verify funds. They're probably wanting to know how they're going to access the money and who's going to be responsible for distributing it, because they're clueless on how this works. So that's why filing your 1099A and getting that approval online allows you to get a faster response. So then you can at least show them, hey, my funds have been approved and they're on their way.
So lady, whoever created the app, thank you. It will help for us. Yes, telling the realtor or builder that we'll be paying with our trust through our trustee. Ida was here. You can do that. If they're willing to actually actually listen to you and not look at you like you're crazy.
If you tell them you're paying from your trust and you've already filed the 1099A and it's been approved, I can send them approval or something that shows that money has been approved. So that's another reason why filing online is faster, because if you need an approval to send to someone showing that the funds can be accessed, then at least we have that.
So, hey, Terrell, I'll get with you on that, man. So we'll actually be in Katy this weekend. If I get a chance, we'll talk about that. So, but yes, you should be able to use your 1099A to pay back child support.
Yes, David, there are some copies that are scannable that are not carbon. They have carbonless copies that you can order. So you can still use them. You would just print off of your computer in black ink copy B and C, because if you're doing the paper copy, you're going to want the B to come back to you. That's the only communication you're going to have on a paper trail, is they'll stamp it and say approved or accepted or whatever they're going to say, and they'll send that copy B back to you. So be sure to add copy B and C in black ink that you printed to that first copy A.
Hey, Keena, Scott. Yeah, I mean, if they're going to ask for a down payment, we're the trustee. I mean, you know, if you can get it to where they're not going to ask for a down payment, I've got some friends that do fix and flips. They said to be careful of contractors that ask for down payments when we started trying to do some fix and flips, because he had some contractors that he paid down payments to and they walked off. They didn't do the work, or he would come by the house to see what was going on and he had already paid them some money. And when you're doing some projects, you're looking at deadlines. They have to be done. And they were just sitting around doing nothing, but he had already paid them some money. So you just have to be careful with some of that stuff. You know, when you're dealing with contractors, you know, if they're going to do the work, a lot of contractors that are actually licensed and bonded and all this stuff, they'll do the work and then get the payment. But yeah, if it did come down to the fact that they needed, you know, a down payment, 10%, whatever they have to do to get started, then we're the trustee. I mean, so we have to do that. Yes, Valerie, that's good. You can do that. So
I don't know what I have in Telegram, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's a personal email or if that's a business. I
sent it to be there.
Oh, okay.
If it's Tara Jarrett Realtor, then yes, that is her email address, and mine's Drew Jarrett Realtor. So they're being put in Telegram. I've got somebody that just went on ahead and put those in there for me.
Yeah, please don't send that to my personal because it will get looked over. I can promise you I don't check that all day. I check it rarely, actually. No, no one can be your spouse or related to you to help with a trust.
Well, hey, Scotty Dog. Yeah, I mean, that's cool though. If they're getting the check and you know it and you're able to track it, if you can shoot us an email and tell us more on how you're tracking where the money's at, that'll be great too. Because you know, we're all trying to figure all this out. You know, we're learning that with the 1099A or the 1099 online and all of that, you actually see how long it's going to take for the funds to be ready once it's been accepted. So,
if your mortgage is paid and you paid it online and they've accepted it and paid it off, you're going to get a notice that says, congratulations, your home has been paid off, and you're going to get the title to it within about 10 days. But the total time frame, from what I've been told, is about 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks from start to finish, but could be up to 10.
So, hey, Gary, if your neighbor's selling his property in a couple of months and you're wanting to buy it and you want to make him an offer and you know how much you need to make your 1099A out for, I'd go ahead and do it so that you have the proof that the money's coming in so that he doesn't sell it out from underneath you. I can't sell any of my land to a relative, correct?
You can sell it to a relative, but you mean and collect from the 1099A from them. I don't know the answer to that question. I'm not going to even answer that. I'll write it down though, and I'll try to figure that out for you.
Yeah, guys, remember now, we're just here to kind of educate. We don't know a lot as far as we're not giving any financial advice. We're not attorneys, this and that. So this is all education for both of us. And we're trying to assist you guys in the process so that, you know, we all can learn this. I'm telling you, every phone call that I have, and that's what takes a lot of time with these phone calls, is that, you know, every phone call that I have, you guys are very informational. We're all researchers. So we're actually learning the process, but we've been willing to stick our heads out there because we actually know the process and are willing to be the trustee in the situation. But there are little tricks and things that some of you guys are telling us that's actually been great information, and we're going out and getting these other forms. And somebody gave me a link today that should be able to help us get paid faster so that we are able to get the funds to you guys faster to buy the houses. So, so it's everything we're doing and talking to you guys. You guys are a wealth of knowledge. I mean, it's great. And so bear with us. That's why it's taking so long, because
and we have very few like-minded friends in our communities. So when we find someone like-minded to talk with, it gets extensive sometimes because we're all intrigued with how little knowledge our society has to what's really going on.
I know that CAK, you're saying, can you separate the 3 1099As? People say no. When we get them in the mail from whoever, they come as a small one. So we've separated them. We haven't had any problems. Haven't had it returned back to us by separating it.
I have a Cricut cutter, and I cut a fine line on each one of them. So
I think that the IRS just doesn't want you to be able to use multiple things. They're trying to limit everybody anyway to everything. So,
but you've never gotten a 1099A for your taxes in the mail with a whole sheet with 2 left over. You've never gotten an NEC, at the end of the year with the whole 3, and they all come the same. Forms come either 2 to a page or 3, and we've never gotten a whole sheet. So yes, you can cut them. They've been doing it forever.
The question about the credit, can you finance a car for 6 months and then pay it off? That's up to you if you want to.
You can.
If you want to run your credit, get it, get the make payments on it, and then pay it off. If you want to make payments using your 1099A once you get it.
That's another whole thing with the credit bureaus. Let me just raise some eyebrows here. I'm about to personally fight the credit bureaus because they ruin people's lives. They are privately owned. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion are privately owned. They are not government owned. No one ever signed a wedding signature with them or an electronic signature with them to contract with them to share our personal information, financial information to the world. We have a HIPAA law, but we don't have a financial law. They can't share our health data, but they can share our financial data. They can defame us. They can show us unworthy to have whatever it is that we're trying to purchase. However, they all have gotten paid. All of everything on your credit has already been paid out of your trust. So why don't we have a 900 credit score? We should all have a perfect credit score because all of our debts have been paid. It is fraud at the finest level, and it ruins people's lives. And it's another task that personally is really big on my heart to go after the fraud that the credit bureaus inflict on our society. And if you're with me, join me in the fight, because anybody that wants to help me with that, they need to be leaned heavy, in my opinion. And I really and truly might take it to the Supreme Court level, because it is fraud at its finest. No one has given them permission to do anything that they do. And if anybody knows different, please let me know. But from what I've researched and what I see, it's fraud at the finest level.
Hey, Jay, whenever you file online, we're filing the 1096, 1040V, 1199A, 8888, 1099 OID. So we're filing all that. So you don't, all you're doing is the 1099A. We're taking care of the rest of it and submitting it out to be done. I don't know the Form 8281, but that'll be something we're going to investigate into when we file a 1099 OID. That's the first time I've ever heard that. So yes, we will definitely, if that's something that has to be filed, we will file it because we will not, we'll make sure that there's nothing illegal going on as far as, you know, causing trust fraud. So, I mean, let's see.
Can we get our family trust that is passed? If you're asking about, can a family member, can you get information on the trust that they had? Go to Social Security Administration's website, look at forms. There are some forms in there that I don't know the process. I have been researching that process. But if you look at the forms, it looks like if you're a family member to a deceased, you can get some information about their trust.
So, hey, Skybiz, yeah, I mean, you know, if more and more people wake up and they realize, you know, and they're able to help and do this and stick their neck out, and I mean, there will be more trustees. There's a lot of people. I mean, you think about it, we're only 1% of the people that have even woke up to the fact that, you know, the central banking system is fraud and the whole thing is fraudulent. So, you know, when more and more people wake up to this process, there's going to have to be more and more trustees. And maybe that's where the dealerships and all will come into play as well, that we're trying to work at going after to get to come to our lives and listen, that when they come in and start realizing and they say, hey, yeah, okay, we realize that, you know, we have to take these payments, then all you have to do is walk in and give them the 1099-A, pick out the vehicle of your choice, and they'll do what they are supposed to do. And it'll be an easier process. A car will be a car, a house, everything will become easier as more and more people wake up. So, you know,
see what all of you need to understand is we did not plan on being trustees to anyone. And I won't say the name of who brought that up to me last week and asked us if we would consider being the trustees, but he opened this whole thing up for us. We decided with just a little bit of prayer and communication with that individual that we would take a leap of faith. And we were not expecting it to be like this. We were not expecting to even have it be in a trustee relationship, but because we understand the process and because the need is so great to be able to get things done, we took on that responsibility. And this is new to us too. We understand the process very well. I've been researching this for a really long time, but this was not our plan. This happened. Divine intervention happened, and that's what happened here. So I can't answer that question, Gary. Under common law, I'm gonna have to refer to some of my common law people that we're in a group with here in Texas. I don't know the answer to that, but I'm gonna write it down because that's a good question to get an answer to. And if anybody in here, I know we have some common law people in our live tonight. So if anybody knows the answer to Gary Helton's question, please answer, because I need to refer to you guys for that.
Nope, never heard of 8281. We've read a lot of stuff. We've listened to a lot of lives, a lot of stuff on this. Books, this and that. So, I mean, you can shake your head all you want to, man. We'll get the information on it if it's something that has to be filed. So maybe there's something you know that we don't know, and maybe you need to speak up and say it. So instead of being like, really, this is all a learning thing, man. I don't go for that mess. I promise. You know, we're all learning this together. We're willing to be the trustee because we have the business to be able to do it.
Okay, let's see.
All right, a few more questions here, guys, so we can wrap all this up. There'll be an example on the Telegram page on, you're not filling out the OID. Let's see, all of you're filling out is the 1099A. The OID is going to be my part to fill out. So, oh yeah, so filing for rent.
I would do the treasury as a lender.
I would do the treasury, and then I would submit it and let submit it to us as your trustee or whatever if you have somebody, and let us pay it, because you going in there and trying to explain that they're going to have to pay it. I don't know how that will work.
I mean, you can do it that way. You can just offer them a 1099-A for the whole year of payment. But you would still have the treasury as a lender and yourself as a beneficiary, as a borrower, because they did not dip into your trust to give you a loan or a credit card or anything like that. So you're going to be doing that as the same way you would do a purchase or to acquire assets. So the lender would be the treasury on that, on an apartment or for rent, period.
So no, Terry, we haven't talked to the guy yet. He's on our list to get getting in touch with. So for the bank situation, to see if he can help us out. Where'd it go?
Yeah, Oliver, you are correct. Absolutely correct. That's just, if you read the fine print, we are paying taxes voluntarily. If you're not a federal employee, you're paying taxes. You need to file a W-8 BEN. If you are an employee of a company and you get a W-2, you need to file a W-8 BEN with your company and the IRS. You can even put it on file at the bank so that they know that you're a beneficiary. That helps to protect your bank account also. And you also, if you are a 1099 employee, a contract employee, you need to file a W-8 BEN with every company that you get a 1099 from at the end of the year, to put them on notice that you don't take taxes from me.
C. Johnson, I mean, I don't know how many people that I respond to a day in emails. I try to send out what I can, and in between getting people's information to put onto the agreements, talking to new people, and having the people that I've already talked to asking questions, calling me back. So, I mean, I'm probably on the phone. Like we said, we went to bed at 4 this morning and we're up at 8 back at it. So, we didn't stop. Like at 4 o'clock this morning, I was still, there's a couple of people on here that I was messaging at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, sending emails out, and they were responding back to me. So, yeah, we're going at it, and we're up as long as we can and going as hard as we can with it. And we're trying to get to everybody, and we see all of it. That's why we decided to streamline the thing and put it on Telegram, so that I'm not having to do the agreement. If you know the process and you know how much you need to add and you know what you need to do, and you've got all your numbers figured out, then you get the agreement from Telegram. You're going to sign it. You're going to send us the 1099-A. You'll send me an email, let me know. Once I get in touch with you, then you'll have my number, and then we can talk faster and easier that way, text messages or whatever. But, we're doing the best we can. we had 1.7 thousand views the first night after the first live, and it's crazy. We didn't realize, we weren't looking for that. I mean, we were not even expecting that many people to get on. So, you know, so it has been a godsend, and we're willing to, you know, put our necks out there and help you guys. And we're learning from a lot of people through the process. So,
I'm glad other realtors are watching and waking up, because I could use some connections on the real estate side to work together. We can all make a big difference in a lot of people's lives if we come together. Let's see.
And I have talked to a couple of realtors, and we do have some emails from them. I personally talked to one yesterday about the whole process for, I don't know, we were on the phone for about an hour and a half, I felt like. So that's where we're running into things, is explaining and trying to get stuff down, and it takes time. Even when I'm negotiating a deal for somebody, you know, I'm on the phone with them for 45 minutes, and that takes away from you guys, but it's also trying to help somebody that's, you know, already asked for our help. So, you know, we're doing everything we can to help. So
yes, 1099-A can be used to settle with creditors in bankruptcy. Absolutely. You shouldn't have to file bankruptcy in the first place. This is a type of stuff that really, really gets under my skin, because you shouldn't have to file bankruptcy in the first place. You've already paid off everything with your trust anyway.
Description. I mean, yes, the box is small to put it in. If you're doing it online, I think it only allows a few characters. So just put real property, real estate. I think somebody told me they tried to put the address in, and wouldn't allow very much to go into it. So I just told them to put real property, real estate, you know, whatever you're looking for, car, truck, make, model, year. And that way I wouldn't associate it with a VIN number necessarily, unless they've ordered the car and they give you the VIN number, and it's going to be 60 days or longer for the car to come in, so that you make sure your funds are in. But you know, you don't have to have a VIN number on it. That way you don't have to go back and change the 1099-A later. You know, if you put something on it, and as an address or a VIN number, you're actually supposed to go back and change it if you buy something different. So
if someone's living in public housing, that was a question. They're paying that public housing out of your trust. If someone is on unemployment, they're paying it out of their trust. If someone's on disability, it's coming from the trust. Yeah, pretty much anything that you're getting government funds from is coming directly from your trust, and they're limiting you on how you can use your trust. So,
you know, when they try to keep people on government assistance, I mean, you think about it, they're getting their cut from it. They don't want you off of that government assistance. Why would they want you to leave and have a better life for yourself? Because once you have a better life for yourself, then they're not getting their money as well, guys. So, I mean, I've woke up to a lot of different stuff during this whole thing, and it's crazy, you know, how much we are in slavery to the system. There's not a single one of us that have ever been free, when we've always thought we were free. So now it's time to remove that and become free, and use what's rightfully ours to get our assets and to do the stuff that we need to do.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that they did during the pandemic was they pushed, if you couldn't afford to pay your mortgage during COVID, they made it sound like that you could push your payments to the end of your loan and just pick up where you left off when the pandemic was over. And now they have come back and want the entire amount of the 2 years or however long that you have not paid, and they are foreclosing on people. because they don't have 90,000 or they don't have 50,000 or whatever the amount is that they've had to extend, but they made it sound really good up front. And now they're coming after people because their agenda is to have us in rental property for the rest of our lives and them own the homes. They do not want us to own homes. So yes, the moratorium was lifted for a reason, because now they've got people so far behind that they can't catch up. So if you know someone going through that, it's fraud at its finest. They need to use their 1099-A. Help me get that message out and pay off their loan so that they do not get foreclosed on, because this was their plan and we need to stand up to their plan.
Yep. The plan was to have everybody in some type of rental property, public housing, whatever, by 2030. And now the more people are waking up, that's messing with the plan. So IDA, it is the W8BEN, not just a W8 form.
W8BEN as in beneficiary. That puts them on notice that you are the beneficiary of your trust, not the straw man. That you cannot tax me as the living person. You can tax my corporate entity, and you can accept for value whatever is there, but you cannot tax me as the living person or create damage for me as the living person. So W8BEN as in beneficiary. And I'm sorry, I know I talk very loud. You probably had to turn your volume down when I talk. I get very passionate about some of the things that have been done to us and to people that I know. So
let's see. Rebecca, so you post dated it. We might need to have that corrected unless you had to post date it. No, it doesn't need to be post dated. It actually needs to be the date that you're filing it. So you can actually go in there and edit it. Michelle, we'll have a Zelle up there on the Telegram page so that you can actually send us Zelle us the money for the OID. Everything, the agreement will be up, guys. We'll have the agreement up here probably by like 9:30. So
I don't know if you could see this. It doesn't look like it, but this is our Telegram page. I don't know how to make it where you can see it, but
is that better? I can't tell.
Jarrett Realty Investors, capital J, capital R, capital I, but all one word. If you have a hard time and you have a hard time finding it, just I don't know how to get this message out faster.
Here it is. Thanks, Josh. I mean, there's been some people that are putting it on there, guys. And like I said, I'll go in and pin it into the YouTube messages after we're done tonight. I'll put it in there. So,
guys, if you have an issue with the IRS or child support or anybody that can come and lien on your bank account or your property, you really and truly need to file a Form 56 with the bank, a Form 56 with the bank, and a W8BEN. Because that puts them on notice that you are the living person, not the straw man of that account, and they cannot mess with it. If they do, it's a lienable offense, hefty lienable offense.
Appreciate it, Corey. I mean, if you've got a business and you're willing to use your business, you can't commingle funds. You can't put your personal funds into the same business account. But if you have a business and you have an EIN number, you can be a trustee. That's your business there. That's how you want to do it. That's what we did. We have real estate businesses that are set up to do stuff and to handle real estate, but we're using the EIN numbers to file for you guys to get the funds. Okay. So,
yeah, Marley, thank you. File Form 56 with the bank and the W-8 BEN.
So, thanks, Lady Tech. That's awesome. I mean, this is grown quick, guys. We didn't realize it was going to be this fast, this, grow like this. I mean, but that just means we're all hungry to learn this and get this process and get the things that we actually deserve. So, Jaguar, can a nonprofit be a trustee? I mean,
it depends on how they're set up. It depends on how they're set up and if they have a means to provide escrow accounts. That's the main thing. You've got to separate people's money. So you've got to have different series set up to provide escrow. So it just depends on how it's set up. May it be? You're going to, on the 1099online.com, you're going to put in the fields that ask for your first name, you're going to put your first name with a hyphen dash. You're going to put your middle name with a colon. You're going to put your last name and beneficiary after your last name. So it's going to look like you have two last names. You're going to have your last name and beneficiary as your last name. And then when you say add or submit or whatever you say, at the end of that, it will populate it to your beneficiary signature.
It'll be in your beneficiary name. You might have to play with it. It might not take the comma. You might, if you put a space between the dash, it might not take the dash. So you might have to play with it just to make sure that it works, for that instance. So, hey, Al, Albo, and we're writing those codes down, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I mean, we probably already read them a bunch of times. We definitely know the 15 USC 1692 A through K.
Absolutely. So we use it often, as a matter of fact.
So.
Same thing. I don't know if I said that, but if you're dealing with child support issues, get a W-8 BEN on file there too. For your bank account for child support and all of that. And you can use a 1099-A, by the way. If you don't want to go through the whole conditional acceptance process, you can go ahead and file the 1099-A for your taxes and for your child support. You just turn it around and do it the same way as you're paying off a bill. And you can pay off your child support and you can pay off, or you can fight it extensively. And if you want to fight it, I have paperwork that I can help you with or provide you that I got from someone to be able to do that also. So to help this man. So
very good. Yep.
If you have child support issues and you need to talk, contact my husband.
Yes, you can pay off your student loan. Thanks, Christopher Coe. We'll write that code down too, 15 USC.
Okay. It's your God-given right to be a parent when and how you see fit. It's not the court's responsibility to tell you how much you need to pay to see your kids. I got very passionate when I went to his child support court back in November, and I watched a gentleman walk up and literally in tears and said, I have to give my kids away. I have to sign them over because I can't afford to catch up with my bills and child support because they take such a hefty amount out for child support. And that's when I got really passionate about the whole child support issue and fraud. So if you have issues with that, W-8B and pay with the 1099-A and get it over with is my... And the IRS debt. You can send IRS except for value. They know exactly what to do with it.
Yes, you can pay off your student loan. C. Johnson, Lisa, probably be better to use a 1099-A. The 1099-C has to actually be filed by them to cancel your debt.
Hey, Oliver, if you need a conditional acceptance or a lien document, reach out to me. I can help you with that on IRS stuff.
Garnishments are illegal. They are not allowed to garnish your wages. It's called peonage. So there's actually a law out there, a USC code about that. So, reach out, Marley. We should be able to. We've got some stuff with that too, because they were garnishing my stuff too. So
your earnings are considered property. You cannot take someone's earnings. In common law, you do not have income. You have earnings, and if you look that up in Black's Law Dictionary, there's a big difference in earnings and income.
John, we can be your trustee for the property taxes. I mean, once you get a property and you get it paid off, you might as well just put the alloidal title or the land patent on there so that you can make sure that you're not ever bothered again with taxes.
And you put it in a pure trust and unregister the property, and you're set. You don't have to worry about taxes.
Even same thing, guys. If it's a government document coming in to pay for something, they accept for value. And if you send it in with a explanation that, you've been sending this voucher in every year or whatever, every month, however you pay it, then, but you realize that, this was actually the payment and you've been double dipping. I mean, that'll work, especially on those documents, because they know, except for value, HJR 192 of 1933. If you want to, charge back to the straw man with your straw man account number on there and let them go and cash it and get that money back. So.
Oh yeah, they do act funny. Child support when you ask for the tax ID, because they know what you've learned and they don't want you doing that. You can actually hold every one of those county clerks or anyone that is signed off on a child support document. You can lien them because they are it's fraud. It's fraud. And unfortunately, they are not the county clerk level. They are not informed of what their real responsibility is and the weight of it. So I have some documents to put them on notice.
Hey, Neighborhood Solutions. Yeah, you send it in and they send it back. You're probably going to have to send an explanation along with a conditional acceptance stating that, because if you're sending it into the county level,
send them a 1099-A in a paper form.
And let them file it, because it actually states, that they're responsible for filing that and they know what they're supposed to do with it. Al Bowen, we'll do our best to try to teach you whatever, man. That's what this panel is for as well, guys. Yes, we're teaching about our process and how to help you guys with the 1099-A and all the process, but we've been down the rabbit hole. We've been down for me to have the child support to be taken off and removed from my credit and arrears and all the different stuff. And so, yes, we're all fighting this. If there's anything that anybody has that has helped them with situations, put it out there. We're going to be on the Telegram channel. We'll be able to pin stuff. We'll be able to have documents on there that you guys can print, whatever, to help you guys with your battles.
And if you have testimonies, please put your testimonies out, because we always hear bad things and very seldom hear the good. People walk away when things are working out for them. Don't walk away if things are working out. Please help people that need to hear testimony. It really helps people keep up the good fight when we hear that it's working for other people.
We've been told you can't find out how much is actually in your trust until you're either 18 or 65. That's some of the things that we've heard on Hauser's channel. That's, you know, we've been looking for more answers into that. But as far as like, but if you were into court and you asked for your on ledger, off ledger balance, on ledger, off ledger balance, then that judge is going to be on notice that, you know, they're not going to give it to you, but they're going to know that you know what's going on. We did have somebody that we told that to, and he went to the Social Security Administration and actually asked them for his on ledger, off ledger balance, and they looked at him like he was nuts with the deer in the headlights stare. So, you know,
Andy and Susie, to file an alloidal title, you don't ever hear about an alloidal title because there's so few people, unless property has been passed down for generations. There's so very few people that own their property outright because of the mortgage fraud. So you would, once you have the title in hand to your property, you would get a surveyor to come out, survey the meets and bounds of that property, and get a land patent put on it. That is actually the only way that that you can know for a fact that your property will go down the line for generations without being messed with. So we'll walk you through that step. Once you get a house and you have a title in hand and it's paid off, we'll walk you through the step. I have connections with a gentleman that does land patents, and I have other connections with people that have land patents. So there's some pretty passionate people that I know that will help you with that process.
Hey, Celeste, don't worry about what it's when you do the 1099-A online. That actually is something that is actually supposed to get for the 1096 when it gets filed. That just is their way of calculating it. It's crazy because we did one, and when we looked at it, it said we had $11 million or something that was on there, and we were like, oh gosh, where'd all that come from? So don't worry about them adding it together and doing whatever they're doing. That's on their calculation. They're adding it up, and yours is only going to be done on what your total amount is. So
guys, if you can't find our Telegram page, if you
I promise I'll put it in after this live.
But if you haven't if you haven't found it, we can also put it on Facebook. If you haven't followed we have a Drew and Jarrett real estate team page. We also have a Jarrett Realty Investors LLC page on Facebook that we can just drop the link, and that way you can go grab it and click on it, and it'll take you to it. That's the only other fast method I know to get you the link. So if you're having problems with that, check our Facebook, and I'll drop it in there when we're off of this. Okay, let's see. We're about to wrap it up because we're at 2 hours. So let's see. If I miss any of your questions, I'm super sorry.
No, you don't have to send us the $3 fee to file your OID up front. Only whenever we're ready to file it.
And that's only if you want it online.
It's only if you want it filed online, guys.
If you don't want it online, we're going to follow it up with the paper copy, and we've got to send paper OIDs, 1096s, 1040Vs, all of the other forms. So unless you want to file it online, you don't owe us anything.
So box 2 and 4, box 2 is going to be the total amount. So if you're trying to buy a house for $500,000 and you need some repairs to be done and whatnot, and you're looking at, you know, all of your fees and things included, that's going to be, and you say $700,000, that's going to be your total amount. Box 4 is the value of the property, whatever you think the value is. That if you say that it's $450,000, that's what you're going to put in there. So, but box 2, the 700,000 is what they're actually sending to us to be able to distribute for the property.
You can pay off your lease on a car the same way you pay off a car. And then I don't know if you need to turn it back in or if you want to keep it, but I know automotive very well. I worked in automotive, so you can do either. You can pay it off and turn it in, or you can pay it off and keep it and buy it out.
Yeah, you can use your 1099-A to pay off the existing house or mortgage. So that's not true. The only title is not just a bill of sale, guys. I'm sorry, but if there's been a break in the title and you buy it from somebody with just a bill of sale and you don't know that there's a break, the person who actually owns the property can come and take it.
I'll give this scenario again. I grew up in a small town here in Texas. We know everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows the land and the families that have owned the land forever, because my family has lived there forever. My grandparents lived there forever. I would be fine and perfectly comfortable with taking a bill of sale from someone in that area because I know where the property has been and who's had it. But I can tell you multiple scenarios in real estate where an heir came forward to sell a property that didn't have the right to sell the property. I can tell you multiple examples of where there was a gap in title where someone owned the property and never did anything to transfer it properly. And so technically, if you don't go through that right steps through the chain of title, it reverts back to where the gap was. So the property, here you are thinking that you own the property, and an heir pops up that had the right to the property and was never given the right. They can fight you on that and they will win. So it's better to go through title and then get a land patent, put your assets in a pure trust, and be done with the whole property tax situation, and having your assets unprotected, basically. So
all right, guys, let's wrap it up. Andy and Susie, yes, 2 and 4 is going to actually be exactly the same on your payoff scenario.
On the 1099-A paper form, go ahead and make up your own account number. Do something that you're going to remember, like your initials, your birth date, or flip your birth date around, or do something like that. Mix up your social, something, I don't know, but you can make up your own account number.
So the signature card from the Navy Federal, and where you enroll in EFT and how do you use it with your bank. Do you know how to do that?
Where is the question?
Right here. Can you explain the signature card from the Navy Federal and when you enroll in EFT and how to use it with your bank?
How to use I don't understand. I can explain the signature card very well to you. There's 8,000. I worked at a bank for 8 years too. There's 8,000 pages of documents on what you're signing on a signature card that they never present to you. When you sign a signature card at any bank that offers FDIC, any bank that offers FDIC contracts you with the corporation. It allows them access to come into your account and lien your account. If you have IRS issues, if you have child support issues, if you have anything like that that's lienable in the corporate sense, you contract on that signature card to allow them access into your account. We were never shown that either, but if you read the 8,000 pages, the signature card contracts you with the central banking system. When you go and try to get out of that, I can promise you, I have someone that I've been, become really good friends with here through this process in the last couple of weeks that has gone to do a beneficiary account. They refused him a beneficiary account. He tried to waive FDIC. They refused to allow him to waive FDIC, and that was at a credit union. So that's why I'm saying put your forms on file at the bank so that if they try to tap into it, you've got them on notice, because They didn't tell us the fraud when we signed a signature card. As far as how to use it, I don't think I understand exactly what you're asking me. So, but that's why bank accounts, and when you hear that bank accounts are fraud, that's the fraud that they're talking about without saying it.
Do you get the $250,000 for opening an account? You talking about the FDIC fund that they say guarantee $250,000?
They're going to take it from your trust. They're taking it from your trust. If you're getting $250,000, it's coming from your trust because it's not coming from anywhere else. They're shuffling paper. Fiat currency is just paper monopoly money. So, if the FDIC, they're getting it from your trust, and you're contracting with the central bank for them to be allowed to do that. Unfortunately, the society we live in, everything is debit card and this and that, but I don't believe in banks. So that's me personally, but we have to function in society. So
the 1040V, the 1199A, and the 1096, I submit them online. If you get me your stuff and I mail it out, by the time that your approval is in, our stuff should be in to them so that they have the 1040V, the 8888, the all of that other stuff, and then they can submit the payment. But you don't have to fill any of that out. If you're using somebody like a dealership that you need to explain it to, and you want to fill it out for them to show them what they need to and have them put their EIN. But if you're using us, I'm filling everything out and I'm submitting it. And as soon as I get, everything's set, packaged up and ready to go, I'll have a tracking number on it for you guys to, and I'll send you the tracking number for you guys to be able to follow where the package is and when it arrives.
I am familiar with the Sherman Antitrust Act. Yes, I am.
Yes. So guys, if you've got your 1099A approved and you have all your, what you think you're going to need to be able for us to be the trustee, closing everything, your insurance, then yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll accept it. We're going to get off of here in just a second because we're going to have to get the agreement up. She's got to make some adjustments to it, and then that way we can get it pinned up online on Telegram. I'll go in here and put the Telegram link into the chat, guys. And we'll have examples. There'll be examples in Telegram on how you need to fill out your 1099A paperwork, how you need to, if you're going to do it online or if you're going to do it through the paper route. So guys, yeah, we definitely thank every one of y'all for joining us. And we're all learning from each other. So this is great, information that y'all are giving us as we're reading the chats and, things that we can look up and add to our arsenal to be able to help everybody out here.
Stephanie, you need to lean them. You need to lean them very heavily. There's a fee sheet that I can share with you. There is a fee sheet that tells you how much you can lien someone for repossessing a vehicle. If you've had a vehicle repossessed, your car has been paid off more than once already, and they took it from you. Your trust paid off that car before you ever stepped in it. So repossession is fraudulent and it's a $6 million offense, a lienable offense. So you'll need to definitely fight that. And
so guys, if the Telegram name isn't populating, I promise I'm going to get it up here. So as soon as we get off of this, I'll go in and copy and paste it into the chat. So you guys can get there. And yes, the agreement will actually be in there. So all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and close. We'll close with prayer. Thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, we're going to be out of town for our daughter's baby shower Saturday and Sunday, and helping her with some stuff to set up for the baby. We'll be back Monday morning, back to answering stuff, but we'll be trying to answer what we can until Saturday. But if you guys get in there and get those agreements to us, and you already have your copy 1099A, that copy B, send it to me in an email. That way it'll free up me from answering a bunch of questions. I can pull it out. I can send you the address if you need our address. At that point, my phone number, so that you can text me. I can let you know things that come in, and then I can send you where we've sent it off. That way it's going to work faster. We're going to be able to get this process going a lot smoother and a lot faster than what we're able to. And we'll be able to communicate with each other in the Telegram, because I'm telling you, you guys have a lot of knowledge that will help us and help each other in this entire process.
Yeah. So this weekend, if y'all can just kind of answer each other back and forth on the Telegram, and we'll make sure that that you have it by then. Again, just reach out or look on Facebook, and then and we'll put it in here. We'll try to put it up, a link somehow on this channel. If I have to put up a video of it or something, we'll figure it out.
I'll get the Facebook links up in this also. I'll put Facebook, I'll put Telegram, and then anybody that's we've actually messaged back, been able to get back to on the emails, actually has it because it's on our business card, our new business card that we created. If you got the new business card, we changed it because we got rid of our website. And a lot of people were saying, well, I can't get to your website. It's not. So we just changed the business card, put it out with everybody else that's new that we've been responding to. Will have the Telegram, Facebook channels, all the stuff on that business card, guys. But yeah, we will definitely get all the links put up here in just a few minutes. And then she's got to make some corrections on the agreement, and it will be pinned up there. I would say within about 30 minutes. Okay?
Yeah. And you're going to know whenever we send out your packet of stuff to the Treasury, you're going to know, because we're going to send you an email with your tracking number, because we want you to track it. We can't keep up with everything. So we're going to send you the tracking number so that you can track your packet as it leaves our house. And again, we're praying over every single one of those packets that leaves our house, because we're all in this together. We need God to intervene and take the wheel in this situation. And we need freedom in our lives. And so if y'all will join in prayer right now, we're going to close out, and please continue to pray for us throughout the weekend, and over each and every one of us in the group, because we're all in this together. And it's stressful because we don't know what to expect exactly, but
yeah, Cruz, thanks. I'll do that. I'll put the links to all of our stuff in the about info on the channel. That way it's in the bio part of the channel, and that way it'll stay there. So you guys will be able to go in and look for it. So appreciate it, guys. We're learning stuff from y'all, just like you're learning from us, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed the conversations with everybody. So we definitely want this process to work for every one of us. So all right, let's close in prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer tonight. Thank you for this time that we have been able to spend together and learn from one another. Lord Jesus, nothing happens by accident. We know that that there are no coincidences, that you direct our paths, and you use divine intervention to let us know what direction we should go. So as we get our hopes up for this process, we know that you're in control, and that we're here to serve you first and foremost. And we just ask that you would bless over each one of us, and that you would help help us to stand up, and to not be scared to stand up and get rid of the evil in society that we live in today. And we pray that all of our loved ones, families, and communities will wake up, and that we would be able to wake them up through you, Lord Jesus. And it is in your name, Jesus' name, that we pray. Amen.
Amen, guys. Appreciate all y'all. we'll see you guys next week on yeah, we got you, Midwest. We're praying for you.
We'll be back Monday night at 7 o'clock. Monday and Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, we'll be live. I might throw in some videos here and there because some people asked me to on some things. So if you have any questions about something and you want me to throw up a video for, I know we're all trying to wake up our family and stuff like that. So if there's anything that you need me to help you with, or throw in a video or throw up something so that you can share with others, please let me know. By all means, I don't know, not even close to everything, but I do my best to get answers from other people that do if I don't. So y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining us, and be blessed.